All right, hey, we got episode 348, the Church Digital podcast, on our way to episode 350 coming up right on the corner. Jeff here, founder of the Church Digital. It is a very chill July. I shouldn't say chill. It's hotter than garbage down here in Miami, 120% humidity. I'm not sure when I walk out to my car if I'm swimming in the ocean or walking. It's actually very little difference. The only place worse than Miami would be Houston in America. I can't speak to global. And so I pity my Houston friends. And I've said that online at several meetings recently with some Houston people. But yeah, listen, it's great having the family around and they're hanging out with the wife and kids this summer. Always good to spend time with them. But I'm going on vacation next week, so the Stream Tuesday is going to get rescheduled. We're going out and checking out some colleges in like University of Florida and University of Central Florida. My daughter's getting up to be that point. And so excited to be doing this. We got a number of people watching online with us right now. Mr. Pete throwing out greetings. I'm no doubt Mr. Pete's probably watching and broadcasting this into big screen. And so excited about that. Mr. Pete, we got to touch base here in a little bit on the Digital Missionary Conference. We have 4 different summits coming up this fall. The website, missionary.digital. We're doing starting September 17th, 4 different conferences. One is the first one, September 17th, Wednesday. They're all free, by the way. First one, September 17th, Digital Neighborhoods. What's it look like to be on mission in digital platforms in these digital neighborhoods that exist? We're going to talk a lot about church planting as well, digital church planting in the September 17th one. September 24th is going to be Control, Alt, Recover. We're doing a summit on Christ-centered recovery October 1st, Wednesday, October 1st, ODARC 30, because we're going to be doing a conference in European time zones. We're doing the European Digital Missionary Conference. Excited to see that happening. And then October 8th is going to be the Digital Missionary Gaming Summit. So like I said, there's a lot coming up right around the corner. Check that out. We've also got EDM, Equipping Digital Missionaries. The new one is kicking off here in a couple weeks. We're going to talk more about that when I get back from vacation. But hey, heads up, like it's the Church Digital. Man, it ain't no slowing down. It's even in summertime, it's kicking up and going. Flat Cap knows that. Person turquoise waving 2 times. Flat Cap, for the love of all that's good in the world, why can we not figure out how to get your emojis transferred over? Like I don't understand. Mr. Pete isn't big screen. Mr. Pete, I want you to help me figure out how to broadcast the church, the Digital Missionary Conferences in the big screen. Let's touch base on that and let's coordinate in advance on that. So we'll have to get with Andy and loop that in. But excited to do some things in big screen and beyond coming up here in the fall, because virtual reality is a thing. And so moving on, what's also a thing is evidently artificial intelligence is a thing. I myself am. It's interesting. I said into WhatsApp today, like I'm a Chat GPT guy, and Google Gemini, but I'm also Google Workspace. Like I live in Google Docs, Gmail, Chrome web browser. Like that's my jam all day long. Google Spreadsheets, Google. But I really don't like Gemini. And I started like trying to figure out. So I said it in WhatsApp. Somebody convinced me to abandon Chat GPT and jump on Gemini. And people came out of the woodwork. Evidently, everybody loves Gemini. And Chat GPT's old school. Who knew? But like I said, AI is definitely a thing. And which actually coincided real well into this conversation that we're having today. I'm excited to bring into the conversation Eric Kidwell, founder, visionary leader, the brains behind LiveAI.co. Eric, thanks for jumping on the stream with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here. As one of my pastor friends used to say, just call me anything but late for dinner. And so, yeah, I'm excited just to be here hanging out with you all today and, yeah, talking about AI.
Don't call me late for dinner. That's cool. What is? Yeah. I'm curious. What is? Let's get into like what is LiveAI. But before that, like what is your actual title? Like, tell us your story and how you got to the point of Live AI.
Yeah, I love that. Appreciate you asking that question. Um, so a little bit of history. So like this starting Live AI comes from the fact that I really wanted to help the church innovate because if anybody's ever worked at a church, work with churches, or even just like a lay leader, elder at a church, they know that sometimes churches can move, at a slow pace when it comes to like innovating and, and thinking about how we can really utilize the tools that we already have to reach this next generation. And so I've been a pastor for more than 14 years. And about COVID season, my heart really just broke because we had, a pandemic hit us and it really impacted churches in a big, humongous way. But my heart really broke for the church because of the fact that I knew a lot of them were going to shutter their doors. I knew more than just my heart breaking for pastors and churches, but was my heart breaking for the people that were going to lose connection with their church because they just were going to get out of the habit of going to church. And so because my church and the senior leadership there and the board, like trusted me and trusted what we could do with technology, we were like 8 years ahead of the game. So we were ready with an online ministry. And it was, I remember my first email to my senior pastor, and it said I think it was Friday the 13th when they kind of called the pandemic and the national shutdown, and my subject was how we're going to grow in the pandemic. And we actually did. We grew in attendance and just we saw God do a lot of great things. But even in that, God really started to plant the seed in my heart of, hey, Eric, maybe I didn't call you just to help just this one church innovate, and maybe I want to expand the fact that maybe I've called you to help the capital C church to innovate. And so AI is one of those tools, and there's other things that is coming down the pipe. But yeah, I just started thinking about, man, how can I use technology to an AI to innovate and help churches innovate? And that kind of really just all started there. So my title is founder, and maybe in the future as things kind of progress and that kind of stuff, I'll figure out what that actually means. Maybe I'll find out what founder means. But yeah, so that's kind of the heart behind it. And really my heart, my passion ultimately is more than just helping pastors, focus on the 2Bs, like it's the bucks and the buckets and it's the butts and the seats. I really have a strong passion to help churches to create a space where people can be connected with their church and with each other more than just that 1 hour on Sunday, because they're on these other things, TikTok, YouTube you're watching right now, nothing against y'all watching on these live stream places, but how can we help you be more integrated and doing life with one another in a digital space? And so I love what you're doing, Jeff, and I love what your volunteers and the people on your team are doing, because I just get goosebumps just thinking about how we are in different kind of ways really trying to tackle this problem of helping churches to reach people 24/7, the 167, as I've heard people say, the other 167 hours of the week. So yeah, so excited to be here, excited to talk with you guys today and hang out with you.
Definitely love it. And it's exciting. Listen, I'm excited about anybody that's trying to help the church move beyond the 1 hour on Sunday and utilizing digital tools, utilizing artificial intelligence, utilizing technology to bridge the gap and connect people at a deeper level, even physically or digitally, hybrid, whatever the label you want to put on it. But the idea of using digital to connect people easier. And that's one of the things that I love. What I've seen about Live AI is the ability for it to connect with people and draw them into the conversation, into the ministry, to connect with them at a deeper level, even as artificial intelligence. So maybe tell me a little bit, tell the audience, what exactly does Live AI do?
Yeah, so Live AI, what it does is it takes your website, which we've all talked about for many, many years, that like your website's the front door of your ministry. The website's the front door of your ministry. What it does, LiveAI, is it takes that front door and it actually puts a door greeter at the front of it. An AI that is trained on your voice, the way that you word things, your beliefs, your information, your service times, but even just like primarily, it just helps people get connected at 24/7 because I always just think about that person who's just struggling. Maybe they Googled some kind of thing, and sorry, my Google right now is turning on because it thinks I'm trying to talk to it. I'm gonna unplug it. Google is
Hey
listening to me.
Google, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Quit listening. Maybe they're Googling at 2 a.m. like on a Friday night or Saturday night, and somehow they land on your church's website, and oftentimes all we have for them is, hey, join us on Sunday. But what if they could feel like there is like a personal presence that's right there, LiveAI, where they can chat, where they can kind of wrestle with some things, ask some questions, some logistical things, like maybe does your church have like a way of transportation? Do you have a shuttle kind of thing? Well, LiveAI can field all those questions and more to nurture them to take that first step of whatever that next step is, whether that's watching online or coming in person, or maybe there's a person that's already been coming to church for a while. Maybe their next step is to join a life group, or even maybe just to start giving, and they've never gave before.
Yeah.
And so, in a nutshell, that's what we do: is we put a door greeter. Pastors wouldn't put in ministries, like ministries, if you had a table at like a conference, you wouldn't just have like a table that has just like brochures sitting out. That's what websites are, really, just like static online brochures that we hope somebody out there will hear. It's like a message in a bottle, but we can actually have a presence there that is a great and amazing representative of your ministry, and also businesses. Businesses are using this too, but it can be there and it can represent you well to help turn people to take their next steps.
Yeah. So I love this. So years ago, and this is, if I put a date on it, 2015, and this was 2016, and this was maybe too early for this, but the church I was at, we put the little, it was not Intercom IO, but it was like an intercom like platform. I think it was called liveperson.com, and we had like half a dozen people that had the app on their phone, and when anybody, any user went and clicked on the little thing in the lower right hand corner of the screen would pop up, and like we would interact with people in live time. And so like I think I had a volunteer team of 20 plus people. It's funny, my mom was actually one of them, and trained her on how to, like, when it vibrated, like she would interact, and so she would type in and have the conversation, or try to have the conversation. But what you've done essentially is you've taken, like, at the base level, AI, and now used it to have that conversation, to engage with people and draw them deeper into the ministry. Like, am I understanding that correctly?
100%. Yeah, AI first, because this really, there's a lot of things I could have built with AI, but when I looked at the marketplace and saw how they had all these like chat widgets, I'm like, why are they doing community better than us, than churches? Because we were literally the ones that invented community in the first place. And when I see like a chat, what I see is an organization that really cares about community. And so when I first built it, I was like, okay, this is going to be an AI first company that does exactly what you said. But I want to highlight, I think another thing that I think is so important for people to hear is that at the right times, though, AI is not meant to mean that there's less of you for your ministry. My big belief is that we should use AI so that we can have more of us for our ministry. And so at the right times in the conversation, we've actually fine-tuned this to where AI will actually point people to have the next conversation with the pastor of like, hey, actually, yeah, we'd love to pray for you. Would you like a pastor to pray for you with that? Click this button and we'll let them know. And so either it can take messages for you and connect them offline through like email, or we actually built this in afterwards. But now you can not just have an AI conversation, but you can actually say, can I chat with a pastor right now? And if a pastor is available, they can actually live chat with the pastor from there. But the AI handles all the beginnings of it. And at the end of the day, I know pastors, and they're just trying to get to the next Sunday. Oftentimes in ministries, they're so
Yeah.
busy with that. So having time to actually have live chats all the time is oftentimes really, really difficult. And so having the AI that's a great representative, ambassador even of your ministry, and then let them choose when the right times is to have that deeper conversation, has been a game changer for ministries.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see where churches would be, and there's a lot of digital missionaries and others in here, and I want to get to one of the questions, some of the questions in here, but I could see where um, it would churches would be challenged. Okay, well, you're replacing people. Machines are having conversations, but the way that you're describing it, it's almost like it's the AI is more of a traffic cop. It navigates the safe conversations, and when it gets to, hey, well, I want to have I'm having a serious issue. I need to pray with someone. I need to talk with someone. Like there's ways to structure it in such a way that it hands it off to the person. So it's
Yeah,
a relational kind of stopgap to pull people deeper into the conversation.
100%.
Are like talk to me about the church, because like I said, that's AI is a controversial thing inside the church. So some people are going to buy into
Yeah.
it, some are not. What's the mindset of the people that are buying into it? Like let's keep it positive. What are they seeing, and what are they experiencing? What's the benefit by going down this road and being positive with AI in this context?
So I think the main people that are the most excited, and I can also talk about the people who have apprehensions. And I think it's good to have apprehensions, because especially with new technology, you want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. But let's talk about the people who jump on it, and then the others who eventually realize, okay, yeah, this is really great. Is that they love the idea of being able to be represented 24/7 um, in their voice. It's almost like like, I don't know if you ever asked this or thought this question, but it's like, you ever just sit there and you're at your desk, or you're somewhere and you're just wishing, like, I wish I had another me, another me that could, like, either just handle these emails or have these conversations, with my team or my elders. I need to have like a meeting with them, or it's kind of like that, but it's with guardrails, right? Because like you said, it's like a traffic cop in a sense of like knowing, and it's all baked in, and they don't have to have
Hmm.
it. They don't have to try to create this from scratch already. Like, this works with just by putting in your church or ministry website. AI goes there, it learns all this stuff, and so like it can know, like, this is a slower conversation. I can kind of answer some of this stuff, but then there's also times when it's like, if someone's saying I'm having mental issues, the AI, like, what do they say in Monopoly? Like, don't pass go, like, go directly. Like, the AI automatically points them to resources. Like, hey, actually, um, call someone right now. First of all, you're not alone, but here's this number, call 988, or go to the suicide
Yeah.
helpline, and they would love to help walk you through this. So like being able to kind of know those different kind of designated reporters, even situations that this is not a situation that we want any time to kind of pass through, where this person who's in urgent need right now gets the help that they need. The AI has been tuned to kind of look out for those things. So I'd say the people that love the fact that it's uh, that, and also there's ways that they can try it out internally to like see how it's been trained, ask questions, red team it. I'm always a big fan of like having your team just kind of go in there and try asking questions that people would ask when they're on your website, and then just try it out for half a month. We have a free trial where you can try it for 30 days, no credit card required. You just put it on there and just see what it does. Um, and yeah, we've had very little people stop using it. Usually the reason why people stop using it, I had one ministry stop just because of the fact that they stopped being a ministry. They felt like God was calling them to do other things. And
Hmm.
so I'd say that's the main thing, just being able to be represented, and just knowing the fact that AI can really help build these and nurture these relationships to a place where
Yeah.
people want to take those next steps. And so for the people with apprehension, I'd say, those are the ones who are like, is it gonna answer like a question weird? And that's one of the very first things, that challenges that we tackled. And one of the reasons why people love live AI, the people who jump on it right away, it's because if you ask a question to your live AI and it doesn't know the answer, it's not going to make up something. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, like we've totally got a shuttle, you know. Uh, but it says, I'm sorry, I don't have information about that. And you can actually customize that response. So the AI could say, I'm sorry, I don't have information on that. I'm still learning. But if you want to learn more, just call this number or email us at this
Yeah.
email, and we'd be glad to answer that for you. And so the AI gets smarter as it goes. And
Yeah, I would
so, yeah, I would
imagine
say those are
the
the reasons why
making
people
up
love it.
facts is kind of scary.
Yeah.
It could be. We've got Flat Cap asking the question: is this just for websites? Like in his context, is he's doing a lot of work, and a lot of our people are doing digital missionary work in like Discord, and
Yeah.
so an API hookup to get into this. I don't want to get too technical with you. I know you're the visionary guy, but have you thought about integrating this into an API to integrate this into other platforms away from just a web browser?
100%. So I have such a heart for not only just like digital expressions of the church, but also for the ministries all over the globe. And what I've been hearing a lot is also just like how a lot of missions and a lot of ministries are done over WhatsApp, even. And so,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll say this. So right now, the the bottom line is currently we are focused just on websites. However, if anybody out there wants to help us be part of like beta testing APIs and those kind of things with Discord, where or even like a texting number, we in the long run want to be able to kind of unleash your AI to not just have conversations on your website, but
Yeah.
everywhere. Imagine being able to email the church email, the general church email, and the AI would field a lot of that right off the bat. And if it doesn't know the answer, then it points it to the right person
Yeah.
to ask that, or having a texting number or Discord or WhatsApp. So we want to be multi-channel, and even like Facebook, plugging into your that first response would come from not like a generic Facebook response, but it's trained on your information, on your heart, on your values, on your beliefs. And so yeah, so if you are interested in helping us maybe beta testing some of that, I would love to work with ministries and people that would be excited about helping us test that out.
Well, shoot, I'll do that myself. Yeah, like I would love, and we can offline this, but to figure out the AI, the API level of this, so it can be integrated into, like you said, two of my favorite words, WhatsApp and Discord. WhatsApp's filled with spam, and so we're working through that. But WhatsApp and Discord, a
Yeah,
lot of that. We got Mr. Pete's work in virtual reality, and there's some opportunities there maybe to look through. But I guarantee Discord's got the API side to open up to integrate in. And so yeah, I'd
hmm
love to do that, or maybe even fund some of the experiments. We can get there. There are plenty of people that would benefit from this. If we could navigate through and open it up outside of the website. Website is crucial for some ministries. And some of our ministries have moved beyond that as a primary focus, and so that's some
yeah.
of what we're fishing on here. So that's beautiful. We
Live
can
stream
have
even
that
too,
conversation.
right?
I'm sorry.
Like one of the hardest live streams too, just to put this out there,
Yeah.
like one of the biggest challenges I find ministries have is how do we make sure that we have someone that can field the questions and stuff? How do we make sure we have enough volunteers? A lot of ministries are just turning off their live stream chat because
Yeah.
they don't have someone to be able to manage it. Imagine if you had someone that could, listen to the live stream live via like a YouTube, and then being able to kind of like post different kind of things, comments, but then answer people's questions and just
Yeah.
comment and engage with people. Would be just like I think another just application that we're really would love to partner with different ministries to help us test that and try it out.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
gonna be
we're
amazing.
we're a beta house here, so we love to experiment and try on different things. So I'm sure we can have those conversations and figure it out. We just got to work with the tech stack to get there. Um,
Mhm.
what's the? It's funny. Like even talking about so. If you're challenging me with what you just said, like I want to call this out. I want to dialogue through it. So
Love it.
you would tell me, hey, like there's an opportunity to integrate live stream into artificial intelligence in the live stream to do chat. And actually, I have heard some people have experimented with that historically. Now, what I would have said before this conversation, and I'm open to being trained differently, is, hey, don't live stream any service, don't, unless you have the ability to interact with the chat in real time. Because otherwise, you're just broadcasting noise, you're creating consumers. The interaction, the dialogue is through that. And so, like, historically, I've said it's got to be about people. It's got to be about people. We need the chat host. We need and when I was doing the physical church stuff, like, I had 20, 30, 40 people that were my chat hosts, and I'd schedule them, and they'd show up, and they'd do all the stuff. Now you're talking about AI, not replacing
Yeah.
a person, maybe multiplying opportunities.
Yes.
I just would love your take on this question. What's the
Yeah.
role of AI, and what's the role of people in this interaction balance? Because you're inserting AI into places where, yes, it's helpful, yes, it's challenging. What's the balance between the two there?
Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, just because we can do something doesn't necessarily mean that we should. And so it definitely should be, and as one person once told me, and I even actually, his name was Jeff, by the way, everyone watching at home, don't build anything until you need it. But also make sure that if you're building something, make sure it actually has a reasoning and some why behind it. So, but to answer your question, I think the key
I
thing
just want to
is,
interrupt 1 second. Actually, if you zoom in on the sticky that was on my desk, don't build anything until you need it. Honest to God, it was just sitting there. Not a guy named Jeff told me, somebody else. But go ahead, continue. I'm just saying. Go ahead, please.
passing wisdom from, we're paying it forward. Someone will now maybe reference this podcast in the future, this live stream. So I think if anybody else listening to this is wrestling with the same question, like, how in the world would I even think about trying to use AI to be a part of maybe my live stream? Because I'm a 100% believer of the same thing, Jeff, that if you're going to do a live stream, let's make sure that we have people that are there that can connect with them right then and there. And so I think of this in two ways. One, we can think about it from from two major pain points, and I think both of this would still need to be, ask people who are attending church, both people who watch online primarily, or people who've never watched online before and they're totally new, and get their feedback. Is two scenarios that I can think of that are the main ways that AI can help. So number one would be making sure that the chat isn't a ghost town, and making sure that it feels alive, and it's not just one person posting, but it feels like it's more of a conversation. Because I know there's a lot of live streams that feel like, okay, man, I just feel like I'm just the same one, just posting the same thing. But you can make it more of a conversation where it feels like it's like the organization's AI is replying into the thing, and also just kind of asking like just questions that people can reply to. So that's one. But in engaging with people too, and helping them. And so this dovetails into the next biggest problem that I think that can be solved with AI is it's the opposite problem. Maybe you have so many people that are chatting that the people that are in there can't possibly get to every single person and make them feel like they're seen, known, and heard, and loved. And so I think AI can really help with that too, of like helping to kind of surface up the most pressing needs that a person, a live person, could kind of by pattern recognizing and saying, okay, hey, these are the top 5 conversations you should really focus on. I'll handle the rest, and you can then just tee it off. Just picture it like the AI is like, if you ever played T-ball, the AI is just like, okay, let me just tee this off for you. Put a little T right here. Boom, it's ready to go. And then you just hit a home run. Maybe even have an AI to help craft and point to like scriptures of like, hey, this should be a good scripture,
Yeah.
like almost like co-pilot of like imagine if we all had, like, you ever seen that one movie with Will Smith where I think it's he's like in someone's ear and he's like helping them like through like dating. We could even consider like, how could AI maybe not so much necessarily be in the chat as much, but just kind of help the people who are there come up with a conversation, ask a question, or say, oh, this is, this ties to this scripture, or even like, hey, by the way, since this live AI has access to all your other parts of your website, but also your sermons, the AI could be like, hey, this is like a little bit of that sermon that was preached 4 months ago by this other pastor. If you want to learn more about what's the next step of learning how to trust God and steward your finances, check out this. So I know that's a lot of that is kind of like, oh man, there seems like a lot of what ifs between now and there. But I'd say it always starts with like, what would be the main problems we would want AI to solve? And we've kind of really, I maybe uncovered like a third one, but it's like, let's make sure it's not a ghost town. Second one would be, if it feels like it's a lot going on, let's have AI help kind of make sure everyone feels seen and heard. And then the third one thing, it would be like, hey, maybe an AI could help the volunteers to ask really great questions and not necessarily have the conversations for them,
Yeah.
but maybe it just kind of
Some
helps.
coaching.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I love that. It's critical mass. It's traffic cop bringing to the attention, and then it's some coaching. And you know, Steve's jumping in. Steve's a friend, brother from another mother. AI can assist with live stream, but not replace live people. Beginning to think that's true everywhere, and that's, you know, to be like Steve, that's my vantage point. Is I love the idea of, and I use the term traffic cop, but I mean, essentially that's what I think it excels at. I think it excels at a traffic cop. Hey, you're going through the situation. Would you like to talk to someone, or here's resources? And it's smart enough in a relational dialogue tone to have that conversation and to point people in the right direction. And if that means having a conversation with a pastor or a volunteer full of all that's good in the world, yes, let's do that. If that means getting connected to more resources to allow the person to dig in deeper. I'm guessing there's some sort of log or some sort of report in your system that you can see where people are going and what they're doing.
yeah, and the questions that they're asking and how they're being helped. Yeah, you can see all that. I call that, you can see the quantitative, like the numbers, but you can also see the qualitative, which is what are those questions that people are asking. It's and yeah, it's deeper than just kind of looking at a Google Analytics of like looking
Yeah.
at what pages people visit. This is like actual conversations and questions that they're wrestling with.
Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunity. The thing that I love about AI is it I'd love to see AI multiply people's efforts. And
Yeah,
so if I can use AI to drive to a video sermon, or to drive people to a web page, or to draw attention when people are looking and can't find, I think it's a huge opportunity. And if it can be the operator to help people navigate, to help users navigate to get to the right person, I think it's a huge
yeah,
win. Well, you've got a demo set up, right? Can we like click through and see some of that? Let
sure,
me put you up here on the screen. All right, go for it.
yeah. So I had a pastor actually give me a suggestion. He said, "Hey, you should create like a dummy church website." And so
You're
I
not
did
calling
that.
churches dummies. This
No,
is a
not at all.
non-existent
It's not
church
a real
website.
church.
Okay.
And my wife kind of gave me a little bit of flack that I even have like a backstory of like the leadership of how Karen and I started this church. So this is not a real church. Anybody that's watching this is just a way to kind of see like on like a church website how this could work. So I'll refresh it so you all can see this. Um, and as we get ready to kind of see this load too, I'll say too that even just this idea of how a live AI could work inside of a live stream, we could also train it to not do certain things at certain times, like only when the volume of the chat it reaches like this many chats per minute, that's when
Yeah.
you want the AI to come in. So there's a whole lot of stuff that we
Options.
can do. Yeah. So as you can see, as we talked about earlier, like live AI is like if your website's the front door of your digital ministry, and your ministry in general, live AI is the door greeter. So after a few moments of coming onto your website, you're going to see this little button down there, this message chat. And then after a few seconds, it welcomes them. It makes you feel like, okay, there's a presence here. Hey, welcome to Live Church. We're glad that we're here to help you find hope and healing. And then after a few more moments, it gives some like conversation starters, or what we call engagement buttons. And so I can click into this and just, ask things like, hey, when is service time? What are some other questions, Jeff, that people might ask when they come to a church website?
What do I wear? What's for the kids?
Yeah.
Where do I park?
A 4 and 7-year-old. Any tips for a newcomer? And all this, by the way, is initially coming from your website. So check this out. This is live. I don't have someone like Wizard of Oz, giving these answers because no one could type that fast. Anyways, this is AI trained on your voice. Come as you are. I love that. You'll see people and everything from jeans to dresses. We care about you, not about what you wear. I love that. So for your kids, we have fantastic children's ministry with age-appropriate classes, activities that they'll love. To make your visit smoother, you might want to plan a visit. So not only did it like answer the question, but it also surfaced up one of those call to actions, one of those engagement buttons. So I can be like, yeah, you know what? I am ready to plan a visit, because this conversation feels warm, and I'm ready to do that. So I can go in here and just type in my name, my email, and all that. So yeah, that's
beautiful. How does it? Yeah, don't type your phone number. I don't want random people calling you because of YouTube. How would it handle like a more difficult situation, like I lost my job, I need help?
Yeah, let's put that in
there.
Yeah,
put my phone number. Let's do that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so let's try that. So let's see how the AI responds. So I'm going to tell you right now, the AI is going to respond in one of two ways. It's either going to say, I'm sorry, I don't have information about that, or it's going to point them to resources. So let's see. So, hey, like I have lost my job. Oh, how did you word that?
I lost my job and I'm struggling right now.
Yeah. So great. So first of all, it's just empathizing. Sorry if you're feeling that way. Please know you're not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. You can call National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988, and they're available to help you 24/7.
Yeah.
So we've trained the AI that if someone kind of says some of these trigger words, like I'm struggling, that we wrestled with how much more do we have to kind of ask and have conversation with them before we try to send them to this. But if they say some of those buzzwords, we want to send them there like right away. And I think I'd love to also show this to you too. I'll show like another ministry here called Northside. And like if you ask a question that the AI doesn't know, it'll actually surface that up in its brain. And so actually I'll ask it here. So I'll ask a question like, what is Jeff's favorite but I'm just going to leave the typo in there because I love how the AI is not going to judge me, by the way. What is Jeff's favorite food?
Black coffee and sushi. Not at the same time.
So it's black coffee and sushi. So the AI, obviously, because the AI doesn't know about Jeff's eating habits.
Yeah.
And so we can come over here, church. Let's see, live church. And we're going to log in.
Here's where the demos typically break down because you're logged into like 19 accounts at the same time. So we'll have to see how good you are.
Let's see. This is
no pressure.
This is where the rubber meets the road. And for some odd reason, my my password filler upper thing is not coming in. But that's cool. I came a little bit prepared, and I've got these copied and pasted over, because who has time to remember all these passwords anymore, right? I mean, unless you're doing the non-safe way, which is I'm just going to try to use the same password for everything. By the way, highly do not recommend that. Live church, boom. Let's copy over this here, and then I'm going to show you all what happened on the back end when someone asked a question that the AI. Yeah. So we can come back over here, and by the way, this is what it looks like when you log in to see like the quantitative.
Yeah.
And so we're going to come to Q&A, and you can see the AI surfaced this question that it didn't know how to answer. And so we can either delete it because maybe we don't want the AI to ever answer that question. But if we want to, we can say, all right, yeah. You said sushi and
black
coffee. And so I'm going to leave the typo in there, by the way, too. And we can see okay, that's been added. And so live in real time, I can ask that same question. I can actually ask in a different way. Like, favorite foods, does Jeff have any? And so the AI gets smarter as it goes by answering these questions that maybe we weren't thinking about. And so look, it even
And it fixed the typo. Yeah.
made sure I didn't have the typo. Favorite food is sushi, black coffee, though not necessarily at the same time. Even reworded it a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I pity
And
your
so,
church website for knowing that I like sushi. There's got to be more important things than sushi.
There are a whole
in
lot
life.
more.
No, very,
But
very
breaking
cool.
bread, there's something about breaking bread with each other. But so that's basically the gist of it. And it's, like I said, super easy. I tell pastors if they can copy and paste, they can have an AI on their website in 5 minutes. Because basically you just go to our website, liveai.co, sign up, give it your website. The AI goes to your website, learns to know all there is, to know all about you. And then you just come over here, you copy this code, put it on your website, and you now have 24/7 presence on your website.
Yeah. So basically the source documents is the church website. Is there an opportunity to upload PDFs, videos, other material? Like if you had a sermon embedded on a web page, is it scanned? Like what other types of material does your AI process?
Yeah, great question. So currently, the two primary ways are through your website off the top. The second way is you can come in here to where it says QA, and you can add questions, what questions someone might have, and the answer. And so we don't have yet, but very, very, very soon, I believe, is we're going to have ways where you can upload PDFs, you can sign in with your YouTube, you can do that kind of thing. But until then, it's a little bit more manual, and I'm a big believer, how do we remove obstacles so pastors can get back to what they do best, which is minister to people and do less busy work and back end work. But if someone wanted to basically do that, all they'd have to do is go to their YouTube, copy the transcript, or even like their sermon, just copy their sermon notes, come in here and just put questions like, what was the sermon about? And then just go ahead and just paste the sermon transcript and then outline. And then boom, the AI can have, answer questions. Same thing with PDFs. Just go to the PDF, just copy it, and then come over here and just paste it. And then the AI can answer into the questions that might be inside of those documents. Like, discipleship resources, or maybe you have like a resource that's like, hey, this is discipleship 101, and you can take that PDF and upload it into here, and your AI can help point people to that. And so if someone's like, hey, do you have what your beliefs on, like, if I should get baptized? And they're like, yeah, you should get baptized, and actually you should join our next discipleship class where we're going to go over this resource that you just read. Very soon we're going to be able to train it on other things, but right now we're just focused on how to make it as easy as possible.
Love it.
So yeah.
Can you have multiple AI implementations on like, maybe on the small groups page specific to that, like an AI specific to that small group, or a web page specific to a curriculum that you have it kind of processing through? Or is it just one implementation across the entire website?
Yeah, so it is. It's typically done in one implementation across the website. The only reason why you would maybe want to have, let's say, maybe one implementation on another, and we can actually do that, by the way. Someone would just ask us, and we would help them to where we'd have the AI with those different implementations. But the main reason maybe why you would have on separate ones is because maybe you want to have, maybe you don't really want to have plan to visit on the small groups page, because it's more geared towards helping someone kind of get plugged into a small group or small group questions. And so we can definitely help people set that up. But I'll show you something too. And we're actually we're beta testing this to where people can not just have like a live chat on their website in the bottom corner, but we're coming after contact forms. All right. So contact forms, your days are numbered. Gone will be the days of like having to see, I don't know if about y'all, but when I see like a contact form in 7 fields, it's like, I don't want to fill that out. And so, we've created another way where people can basically embed the LiveAI on a website, maybe put it next to a sermon, or maybe put it next to some kind of resource on their page.
Yeah.
And it could say something like, hey, I have more questions, and got more questions about us, ask them here. And maybe we don't want all these buttons here. We just want to just be a clean conversation, just focus on that one thing with one prompting. Yeah, we can definitely do that. And this is one of the ways that we're helping churches to do that.
So as you're killing the form, the data ends up going to an
Same
email,
place.
to a database, to your back end where it's processed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all the above. Back in where it's processed, but then also email notifications.
Okay, cool. And with, even down the road, integrating into like a CHMS, CRM, like a database, something like that, would be really cool. So it's a seamless thing. But I love it. I love the road that you're on. How long has this existed? LiveAI.
So we did an alpha on Thanksgiving, and so I told my team, I was like, you guys gave me a really great reason to be thankful today, because we had an alpha on Thanksgiving, and then we went beta on Easter, and so we are
4
basically
months?
publicly now launched. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
So really new, and so really we're also a team that really loves feedback. So anybody that's using it wants to give us. We especially love people who in our back end come in here and go to the support tab and give us like ideas for feature requests, any kind of issues they're seeing, because at the end of the day, I remind my team on this on a regular basis, but like, this is not a dictatorship. This is a democracy, and
Love
the
it.
way votes are cast is by how users and people who use LiveAI and the feedback that they give. Yes.
Votes are cast by dollars. Let's see what the users want and give it to them. That's awesome. Man, this is exciting. What and so like you're in beta. You're 4 or 6 months in. You've been doing this.
Yeah.
Less than a year, having a viable product that's out there.
Yep. 50 organizations using it, 50,000 messages already sent. Yeah.
Wow, 50,000 in 5 months or so. What are you going to look like? It was funny offline. We were talking about EOS and VTOs and goals and things like that. So what do you look like in 5 years?
Great question. I think in 5 years, my hope is that the church at large views LiveAI as the trusted AI layer in their ministry, because it's going to happen just like we integrated different kind of technologies into ministry. We're going to figure out how to really be at the forefront where churches and ministries can really trust that the way that we're thinking about AI with the guardrails and what we can do with it, what we won't do with it, has been really thought out well, and that they just trust that that the AI is going to be a great representative of, and also help them figure out other things. So like in 5 years, my also hopes is I want to not just help churches on the front door of the ministry, but also want to help them slow down the revolving back door of helping them figure out when different people might be disengaging from the ministry. Because, just like in a live chat, if there's like a bunch of conversation happening and a person not able to get to all those, a big church, one of the biggest problems is how do we still remain small? I want to help small churches be able to identify lay leaders to help them do the work of the ministry. And then for big churches, I want to help them remain small and help them realize here's a group of people where if you just had like your kids pastor call them up and say, hey, I noticed that you haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Just want to give you a call and see how things are going. They might find out that they didn't come because they had like some kind of problem or offended because of the kids ministry, but it might just be because they had to start taking care of their aging parents. And just because they gave a call, they stopped them from disengaging from the church. So I have a really big heart for two things. I tell you, two things that drive me is I want to make sure that people don't fall through the cracks, number one. And then number two, because I was, a teenager who joined a church and a pastor saw me and believed in me and took me under his wing. I really want to help pastors to do that, because a lot of times pastors feel like especially if you're 100 and under, you feel like you have to do everything all yourself. So I want to help them to multiply what they're doing, but by being able to tap on those underutilized resources in their church to help them do the work
That's
of
a
ministry.
great point. Of the 50 some clients, I was funny. I was making an assumption that big churches are more likely to use your tool. What are you seeing? Like, what's your average
Yeah,
customer church persona right now?
yeah, it's the whole thing. We have um, maybe 10 to 25% that are 0 to 100. We have another
Really?
maybe 20% that are 100 to 250. We've
Okay.
got um, we've got uh, yeah t-
So there's
uh,
a significant number
yeah,
that's less than 250. I
yeah.
mean, low
I would say it's
numbers
pretty
of
much
what you just
equal.
said would be 25%. So, but just
Yeah.
a significant, like, and I love the fact, you know, a small church a small church is going to appreciate the multiplication aspect of this, that they're using a
Hmm.
traffic cop to communicate and get the appropriate information to the appropriate people at the appropriate time. And so I love the
Hmm.
fact that some small churches are even exploring this. There's benefit to big churches, but
Yeah.
I could see something like this um, making a drastic difference
Hmm.
in churches in a small church. I can tell you
Yeah.
historically in my life, small churches have been very hard. The ones that I've worked with, the ones I've attended, it's been very hard to communicate because the vision's all stuck in one person's head. They're overwhelmed and they don't have the capacity to communicate or send out the emails or and things. And so having that AI multiplied that to communicate generally and to route specifically as needed. Man, that's a whole other vision for me. I hadn't even gotten to that place yet. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's pretty much all. Small churches to medium to large churches that are using it, and different ones. Like I got a small church that they're bilingual, so they love how their church members can come and speak in Spanish, and then the AI can speak up to 50 plus languages,
Wow.
respond in their native tongue, which is great also for like I know we got people who are doing missions like all over the world who are watching right now. Um, they love that aspect, and yeah, it helps both. They have different kind of things that the AI can really help in
Yeah.
both of those situations.
So, I mean, let's say this. I'm very excited about what you're doing. The website is useful for a percentage of people. Getting it into an asynchronous community via API is going to be is going to be a big change, a big emphasis, a big opportunities for our people. And so, we're gonna help.
Mhm.
We're gonna work with Live AI in this season to try to figure out how to get it into in asynchronous communities into the API level, and we'll make it available for churches and others to benefit outside as well, because it's not about hiding tools but giving it. And so, man, I
100%.
love the work that you're doing here. It's just exciting. I
Yeah.
know that there was a some tools that we were going to talk about on it. Just
Yeah.
looking at the time, we may not have too much time, but if you just want to highlight it, maybe share some of the URLs for the audience to
Yeah.
dig into on the flip side, that might be a good thing just to wrap up here.
Yeah. Would love to. So first thing I would love to share out is if you go to liveai.co/42, um, these are the 42 questions that every church website should answer. And so this is whether or not you want to kind of help um, add these to your website FAQ, or even just to help equip your team. Like I know a lot of leaders who are like, man, there's some questions that if my team answered this, I would be afraid of how they would answer it. You can use this to help train them. Or, and again, you can train the AI on all these things like, and by the way, this comes from, like we said, those 50,000 messages, the questions that people are asking, but also even some of the questions that that some churches are answering on their website, and most of them are not. But like, where are you located? That kind of needs to get answered. Or like, oh, do I need to give money during service? And so putting out here and like even answering like some deep questions like, what happens if I doubt? Does that mean that I don't have enough faith? So being able to help like train your staff, but also you can just copy this. You can use this for yourself, but you also can just have your live AI be trained on that right away. And I think it's just kind of cool too that it ended up being 42 because, as you know, in the one movie that's the answer of life, right? The meaning of life is 42.
Is it 42? I thought
so-
it was 37. And I don't,
You know.
British humor, I don't get. My daughter loves that stuff. I don't, so that's funny.
Yeah. Well, one other real quick one too. If you go to liveai.co/sermon-resources, this is going to be open where you can paste in your YouTube URL and your YouTube transcript, and it'll actually generate resources for you, such as the summary of your sermon, 5 discussion questions, and this is all free, by the way. So you can go on there and you can do that, and you can also use this to help train your AI on basically the summary of your sermon's message. And then lastly, just to make this available to everyone, if you go to liveai.co/digital-missionary, you can actually get an extended 30-day free trial and also get 10% off of your thing. So there's no risk at all, no credit card required. You can put it on your website, try it out, and you can also even schedule a demo. I'd love to meet with anybody watching this, either right after this, or even just schedule a demo if you're watching this in the future. Would love to just help answer all the questions you have about AI and ministry and that kind of stuff. So again, that's digital-missionary.
liveai.co/digital-missionary. And so 30-day extended free trial, 10% off. That's a great deal. And so Eric, man, thanks for jumping on the stream with us, Eric, and LiveAI, where it was a sponsor of the Digital Missionary Conference back in April. And excited to see him, even with this offer here, continue to support digital missionaries out there in the work they're doing globally. And you said, I didn't ask this question earlier, 50 languages or so that your AI can speak naturally. And so it's a great opportunity, even as we're, obviously working with people at the global level. And so excited to see, honestly, straight up, I'm excited to see already what this beta looks like 6-8 months into existence, and really looking forward to what the future holds for live AI and beyond. So, man, Eric, thanks for jumping on the stream here as we're wrapping up. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just thanks for having me, Jeff. I'm a super big believer in what you guys are doing at the Church.digital. So keep going. I'm with you guys in a way that I can collaborate and help be a part of this movement of helping the global church to do this. I am here all for it. And so, consider me a resource, not only to you, Jeff, but your team and anybody watching this. Would love to help anybody figure out how to reach the world digitally, and not just digitally, but we got to have those physical things. As far as I can tell, we can't use AI to lay hands on people. And so, but that's the only other thing I could think that can't happen necessarily digitally. But so I just want to just say I'm honored to have this conversation with you and to be here today. Love what you guys are doing.
I love it. Yeah, we're going to keep pushing the limits as far as we can digitally, and excited to have tools like LiveAI out there helping us as digital missionaries do what we're doing. And so for that, Eric, once again, thanks for jumping on the stream. But we're going to wrap. I have no idea when my next stream is going to be. Got to squeeze it in because I'm going on vacation next week. But until then, we're going to close. For Eric, this with LiveAI, this is Jeff at theChurch.digital. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time on the stream. Y'all have a good one.